All right, today we are diving into a really powerful idea from a Rhapsody of Reality's devotional. We're talking about unstoppable increase. We're going to unpack what this anointing of fruitfulness is all about and what it actually means to break through the things that hold us back.
So let's start with something I think we can all connect with. You know that feeling of being stuck? Like you're hitting an invisible ceiling, whether it's in your career, your finances, or just your own personal growth? It can really feel like there's some kind of barrier you just can't seem to push through. Well, the big idea in this devotional is that there's a promise out there specifically designed to shatter those limits. And it's presented not just as some kind of vague hope, but as a spiritual principle that you can actually put into action. And this verse from Isaiah is really the bedrock for the whole concept. Now, a yoke, if you don't know, is that wooden bar they'd put on animals to force them to move together. It's a perfect symbol for burdens and restrictions. But here's the kicker. The verse doesn't say the yoke is just removed. It says it's destroyed. And the thing that destroys it is called the anointing. Okay, so that's the big question, isn't it? What in the world is the anointing? It's obviously the key to this whole thing, so let's see exactly how the source material breaks it down for us. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The text points out that the original Hebrew word used here for anointing can also be translated as fatness, and that's not meant in a bad way at all. Think of it like a plant that becomes so full, so fruitful, that it literally grows too big for its pot and breaks right through it. That's the idea, unstoppable growth. So you can really see the two opposing forces here. On one side, you've got the yoke, burden, limitation, restriction, all the stuff that holds you back. And on the other side, you have the anointing, this force of fruitfulness, growth, and enlargement that's meant to completely obliterate that yoke. It's a showdown between limitation and expansion. To make this all a bit more real and less abstract, the devotional points to a classic biblical story as a perfect example. So let's take a look at the story of Isaac's incredible harvest. The situation could not have been worse. Isaac is dealing with a severe famine. The economy is in the tank, the land is barren, and all logic says absolutely nothing is going to grow. I mean, this is the ultimate test, a situation that is completely defined by scarcity. But what does Isaac do? In the middle of this disaster, the text says he sowed seed anyway. And the result? 100-fold return. In the absolute worst possible conditions, he experiences this explosion of productivity that just completely defied all circumstances. And this verse really sums it all up. See, it wasn't just a one-time lucky break. It was this continuous process of growing and expanding. The big takeaway here, according to the devotional, is that this blessing of fruitfulness was working completely independent of the hostile environment around him. It suggests your internal spiritual condition can literally override your external reality. Okay, so that's a cool story about farming thousands of years ago. But what does that have to do with us right now? Well, the source connects this principle directly to our lives today, arguing that this same dynamic of increase is meant to be active for us. And we're not just talking about one little corner of your life. The text is clear that this principle of unstoppable increase is meant to work across the board, in your finances, in your physical health, in your career or ministry, basically in every single part of your life. So how do you get this blessing going? The devotional boils it down to two really practical steps. First, you have to speak in line with this promise of increase. And second, you have to actually act on that belief, just like Isaac did when he planted seeds, even though there was a famine. When you put it all together, what we're really talking about is developing a very specific mindset. It's about building a consciousness where you see fruitfulness and growth as your default reality, no matter what seems to be happening on the outside. And this verse from Psalms just paints the perfect picture of this, doesn't it? The image is this tree that has a constant, deep source of nourishment. It doesn't matter if there's a drought in the land around it, its leaves don't wither, and it just keeps producing fruit. It illustrates the state of perpetual prosperity that isn't dependent on the season or the climate. To help make this mindset a reality, the source provides a confession, a statement you can internalize and declare. And the idea isn't just wishful thinking. Within this framework, it's seen as a powerful tool for aligning your focus with this principle, so that progress and advancement start to feel inevitable. And that really brings us to this final powerful question. The whole idea here is a radical reframing of adversity. Instead of seeing a famine as a reason to give up, you see it as the perfect stage for a miracle. So the question is this: what changes in your life when every single obstacle starts to look less like a wall and more like a doorway to demonstrate unstoppable growth?